Once a prosperous, thriving home to an advanced civilization, over thousands of years, the title-locked moon of Kenshi devolved into a bleak, post-apocalyptic wasteland where the remnants of second-rate empires battled for increasingly scarce resources, while the rest of the continent fell to dangerous wildlife, rebel armies, bandits, slavers, cannibals, and more. In order to survive this harsh, unforgiving environment, the intelligent species of the continent, which primarily included Scorchlander humans, Greenlander humans, Shek, Hivers, and skeleton robots, could join or start gangs, cults, or independent realms and settlements, while those seeking larger states could choose between a few options, with humans able to join the humanocentric Holy Nation under the theocratic government of the Holy Phoenix, whereas law-abiding individuals of all species were welcome in the United Cities, formed as a successor state to the Second Empire through an alliance of settlements in the south and northeast of the continent, ruled by a feudal aristocracy and emperor. The Shek could join the warlike Shek kingdom, ruled by their greatest warrior, while the Hivers were born into one of three potential hive societies, including the friendly, peaceful merchants of the Western Hive, ruled by an all-powerful queen, the hostile, aggressive meat-eaters of the Southern Hive, led by a queen and crimper robot king, as well as the mad roving Fogmen, who did not have a queen and attacked anyone found in their territory. Those who lost their connection to their hive could become exiled hiveless, forced to wander the wasteland on their own, eventually becoming more independent and formidable, though they often suffered from depression as they felt purposeless without a hive. As for the skeletons, some, either voluntarily or involuntarily, continued to serve the Mad Emperor cat-lon, who once ruled the powerful Second Empire, until it collapsed and retreated to a southeast corner of the continent, while other skeletons lost their minds, were reprogrammed, went to banditry and cults, or else migrated to various settlements, including their own Black Desert city in the Deadlands. Though life in Kenshi was nasty, brutish, and short, those with ambition, cunning, and a means to earn cats could sometimes live a decent life, and in rare cases might thrive, making meaningful changes and a lasting impact on the continent. Yet few could accomplish anything on their own, and so those seeking a better life often join together, recruiting companions who might offer assistance in various endeavors, like acquiring shelter, earning an income, self-defense, and so much more. Among the potential candidates located across the continent, some of the more unique Scorchlander companions include Bo, an elite anti-slaver found in Black Scratch, wanted by both the Holy Nation and United Cities, which offer a bounty of 30,000 cats for her capture. Alleged to have committed acts of terrorism and anti-workforce propaganda, Bo is a highly skilled ninja warrior, katana specialist, fast runner, and great swimmer, experienced in medicine and robotics. An unrepentant enemy of the slave trade, armed with a ninja blade and high-quality ninja armor, she is a field operative for Tin Fist and Grey, leaders of the anti-slavers who will recommend her services to those who seek to ally with their faction. Yet she will only join with those she deems worthy of her skills, demanding that a potential recruiter kill or imprison a high-value enemy like a United Cities noble lord or slave master. Once a citizen of the United Cities, Cat made the mistake of dressing nicely for a date, and while en route to meet his love interest, was mistaken for a rich noble by the Dust Bandits who captured and held him for ransom. Yet in truth, he did not come from wealth, and so with no one to pay for his release, he was imprisoned indefinitely in the Dust King Tower of the Border Zone, where he started to lose his mind. Though he has low stats and no armor or weapons, he is an experienced medic and scientist. A veteran adventurer located in Flats Lagoon, Chad is a valiant martial artist who wears light armor and uses his fists as weapons while fighting big things and exploring the dangerous southeast of the continent. Possessing medium stats, Chad usually travels on his own, but can be persuaded to join a crew for the relatively high price of 9,000 cats. Found in the Dead Cat fishing village where he can be recruited for 2,000 cats, Greenfinger wielded a wakizashi sword, but had no armor and low stats, save for his medium strength, high engineering, and expertise as a farmer and laborer. the former owner of the Punchy Gar bar until it was taken over by Shek barbarians. Jewel wields a katana but has no armor or skills beyond a specialization in cooking. Located in United City settlements, she has no interest in becoming a fighter and instead seeks employment as a cook, while dreaming of one day reopening her establishment so the Punchy Gar may live on. Possessing a great love and admiration for crabs, Lumi resides in Crab Town, wielding a polearm with no armor and low stats, available to be recruited for 6,000 cats. One of Kenshi's most famous ninja assassins, Luquin was 14 when his parents' business failed, leaving them poor and homeless. Considered a burden to United City society, they were sold into slavery, where for the next year, they were beaten, starved, and worked to exhaustion. After the death of his father in the mines, his mother sacrificed her life so Luquin could escape, and so he wandered the desert until found by ninjas who trained him as a stealthy assassin. 7 years later, he returned to the Empire and embarked upon a campaign of vengeance, impaling Lord Kurosaga on his own sword while leaving a note that read, "1 down, 5 to go." Earning a bounty of 30,000 cats, Luquin was eventually arrested, stripped of weapons and armor, and paraded through the streets of Heng before imprisonment in Tengu's vault, where he was tortured, starved, then forced to write a book in tribute to the Emperor. His story was then documented in Book 1 and 2 of The Legend of Luquin. After so many years of captivity and mistreatment, his martial prowess was reduced to medium stats, though he remained specialized in stealth and assassination. A former treasure hunter, Shrike had a brother who was killed while they traveled through the Fog Islands, and so she sought refuge in Mongrel, where she had low stats, a polearm, and medium armor. Traumatized by the tortured screams of her brother, she fears entering the fog and so remains stranded in Mongrel, ready to join a strong crew that might help her escape. Located in Mudtown or Shark within the swamp territory, Stubbs Mamuso is an aggressive, easily offended mercenary with a sword, light armor, and medium stats, ready to be recruited for 5,000 cats. A continent brimming with potential recruits for any endeavor. Some of the more unique Greenlander humans include Bard, a singer likely found in Badteeth, Blister Hill, Stack, World's End, or a way station, who, though unskilled, unarmored, and wielding a simple katana, can be hired for 3,000 cats, after which he will serenade his companions with songs like the Ballad of Harmatho or Tinfist the Righteous. Then there was Griffin, a former soldier of the Holy Nation, who believed he saw a vision from Okrin that a wealthy adventure would lead him to the truth of the first extinction, and so he patiently waited in Badteeth, Blister Hill, or Stack for the chance to join a crew in exchange for a payment of 9,000 cats, which is enough to prove the wealth of the recruiter. Donning light armor and wielding a sword, Griffin is an experienced fighter with medium warrior stats, and is highly religious without blindly following the tenets of the Holy Nation, instead seeking his own path by following the vision granted by Okrin and keeping an open mind as to the truth he will find. A former Holy Nation citizen from Stack, Digna killed her father, who caught her trying to escape the misogynistic repression of the Okrinite faith, and so fled to the Flotsam Ninja village further north for protection. Though she has no skills or armor, she wields a long cleaver and has a deep hatred for her homeland. Another former citizen of Stack, Knife, escaped the repression of the Holy Nation and settled temporarily in the Flotsam Ninja village. Armed with a longsword, light armor, and low stats, she is ready to offer her services in exchange for 6,000 cats, which she wants to send to her mother still in Stack. Living with her Flotsam Ninja sister in their village headquarters, Pia grew to despise the Holy Nation when her sister died in battle with enemy paladins. Possessing no armor, an iron stick weapon, and low stats, she was an experienced runner with a high athletic ability, and so sought 3,000 cats as a recruitment fee. Yet another former citizen of the Holy Nation, Reva, escaped to the Flotsam Ninjas, where her experiences left her with a deep mistrust of all men unwilling to work for them. Though she was trained by the Flotsam Ninjas, she never fully joined them, as she could not understand why so many still worship their own version of Ocaran, despite him being the god of their Holy Nation enemies. Seeking 6,000 cats from a female recruiter, Reva has low stats, a katana, and light armor. Located in Mudtowner Shark in the Swamp Territory, Dr. Chung is an organ harvesting surgeon reluctantly working for the Twin Blades gang, wielding a flesh cleaver with little to no armor and low stats save for his medic and science abilities. A former farmer captured and enslaved by the United Cities, Mew and a close friend escaped captivity together and entered the Swamp Territory seeking refuge in the city of Shark. Yet just as they approached Salvation, Mew's friend was attacked, killed, and eaten by vicious red spiders. Traumatized by what she saw, Mew remained in Shark with no armor, an iron stick weapon, and low stats save for her abilities as a farmer and laborer. Found in Shark, Clownsteady, Drifter's Last, or other UC settlements, Hamut has a deep abiding hatred for slavers, as his wife was captured and forced to work in a mine. Though he contacted the anti-slavers to attempt a rescue operation, they were unable to free her, and so with medium stats, a katana, and light armor, he remains eager to fight against slavery at every opportunity. A once famed United Cities samurai known as the White Ripper, Crumblejohn, was highly favored by the nobility, serving until well past his prime, which meant that when his master finally died, he was unable to find a new position. Separating from his wife, with whom he had an open relationship, the White Ripper retired to Mongrel, where he became known as Crumblejohn due to his physical deterioration. Over 45 years old, Crumblejohn was now low-skilled and unarmored, but still retained his strength, wielding a heavy fragment axe. A medic and scientist roaming United Cities settlements, young Azumi is eager to find a sponsor for her research, and so can be recruited for 2,500 cats. Though she possesses no skills beyond science and medicine, wields a wakizashi sword, and dons no armor. Making a living as a thief and pickpocket on the streets of Bark in the United Cities, Red was known to steal small amounts like 200 cats at a time in order to get by, but may also be convinced to leave that life behind for sake of a more profitable partnership. Armed with a katana and light armor, Red has low stats but slightly higher thievery, stealth, and assassination abilities. An experienced fighter roaming the bars of United Cities settlements, Ridley has medium stats, medium armor, a topper sword, and no interest in settling down permanently, instead eager to join an adventuring crew. Always happy to tell another outlandish story, like the tale of the Wailing Phantom, Hobbs is a slightly senile old man with low stats, no weapon, and light armor that can be located in the Dead Cat Fishing Village, Morn, Waystations, World's End, or the Hub. Found in the Dead Cat Fishing Village, Somon unhappily works with her brother in their family fishing business, but readily admits no skill in the field. Armed with a katana, no armor, and low stats, she specializes in engineering and as a laborer, seeking 3,500 cats as a recruitment fee. An experienced adventurer working as a mercenary, Infinite Wingwang, can be found in Mongrel, where he offers his services for 100,000 cats. Boasting medium warrior stats, a horse chopper weapon, and light armor, his fee can be negotiated down to 5,000 cats. For those seeking an animal companion, Cornelius is a clever young goat with medium skill levels from the settled nomad village in Dreg, and can be purchased for 15,000 cats, or else the discounted price of 7,500 cats from a herder called the Goatman. In addition to the many humans available for recruitment, some of the more interesting Shek candidates include Els, a desperate alcoholic who loves cactus rum and has a bounty of 1,000 cats for stealing alcohol. Found in the United Cities settlement of Shobatai, he has no skills save for medium stealth and thievery, as well as a wakizashi sword and no armor, available to be recruited for 300 cats. A ranged weapons specialist found in Eye Socket in the Stormgap Coast, or Slave Market in the South Wetlands. weapons. Headshot is a cruel slave hunter with a spiked club, light armor and low stats, save for an expertise in turrets and crossbows, available for 7,500 cats. A treasure hunter whose crew was killed by cannibals, possibly while searching for the treasure of Raptor Island. Horse wields a horse chopper, wears plate chest armor, has low stats, and is distinguished by his red war paint. Recuperating from the loss of his companions in the dead cat fishing village, he requires 4,500 cats for his services. Located in Admag, Squin, or Last Stand, Kang is an experienced Shek warrior seeking a new employer. Though he has no armor, he has a horse chopper and medium warrior stats, offering his services for 6,000 cats. A former warrior, now working as a Shek retainer, Oren seeks 3,500 cats to buy freedom from her master and serve as a fighter once more. Located in Admag, Squin, or Last Stand, she has a horse chopper, no armor, and low stats, but a burning desire for battle. Once a member of the Elite 100 Guardians, Rain the Giant earned her nickname from Asada the Stone Golem, but was eventually challenged and defeated in a duel, which meant the loss of her position among those famed warriors. Now working as a mercenary in Admag, Squin, or Last Stand, she has a longsword, light armor, and medium warrior stats, seeking 7,500 cats for her services. Another potential recruit found in Admag, Squin, or Last Stand, Ruka was once a Shek warrior who bravely charged into battle but was defeated and knocked unconscious. As survival without victory meant dishonor and disgrace for the Shek, Ruka's horns were cut short, and she became a second-class citizen among her people. Armed with a plank weapon, light armor, and medium warrior stats, Ruka spent her days dreaming of another opportunity to prove herself in battle. The daughter of Queen Asada the Stone Golem, Seto lives in Admag with a bounty of 20,000 cats on her head from the Holy Nation. Armed with a plank, light armor, and medium warrior stats, the queen seeks an honorable mentor and trainer for her daughter, and thus may assign Seto to accompany those who prove themselves worthy allies by defeating a major enemy of the Shek, like the Bugmaster or Holy Phoenix. A United Cities captive in Tengu's vault, who earned a bounty of 25,000 cats, Sinclair may have once been a dust bandit boss, due to the similarity of their medium armor. Disarmed before he was imprisoned, Sinclair has medium warrior stats and may offer his services to anyone who frees him. Among the Hivers, there is Ray, a disobedient slave who had his tongue removed by a former master. Found in Eye Socket or Slave Market, he is currently owned by a frustrated master who desperately wants to recuperate the money he wasted on this purchase. A mute Hiveless with no armor or weapons and medium warrior stats, Ray can be purchased for 1,000 cats, though anyone willing to pay for such a troublesome individual is likely to upset the slave traders faction. A rare Southern Hiver recruit imprisoned in Tengu's vault without armor or weapons, Esfer had low stats, yet somehow managed to earn a bounty of 25,000 cats. Though he will not explain why he was held captive, he may join anyone willing to free him. One of the most famous Hiveless in all of Kenshi, Beep, was deemed defective and exiled from the Western Hive. Known to randomly say the word Beep, he has no armor, weapons, or skills, but is eager to join any crew that'll have him. Located in Mongrel, a great mystery surrounds Beep's name, as Hivers are normally named after the first thing they see, making it strange that he is seemingly named after a sound. A former smuggler whose crew was wiped out by the Skull Collectors, possibly referring to the Krul's chosen Shek rebel faction. Green is a ranged specialist with low stats, but an expertise in turrets and crossbows. Located in Shark or Mudtown within the Swamp Territory, Green is armed with a crossbow and light armor and can be recruited for 2,300 cats. A Hiveless Prince found in Mudtown, Black Scratch, Flats Lagoon, the Smuggler's Bar, Way Stations, or World's End, Silver Shade enjoys the company of others, finding it lonely and depressing without a hive. With no weapons, armor, and medium stats, Silver Shade can be recruited for 3,000 cats, which is needed to settle gambling debts as his creditors have threatened to break his legs if he doesn't pay. A hiveless prince serving as noble squire supreme under Luquin, leader of the Traders Guild. Yamdu can be found in the Trader's Edge section of the United Cities town Hang, where he can arrange an alliance with their faction for 100,000 cats, or the discounted price of 75,000 cats to those with their own settlements. Though he has no weapons, light armor, and medium warrior stats, he specializes in medicine, science, athletics, farming, cooking, and labor. A valuable potential recruit, Luquin is willing to assign Yamdu to serve any ally that can prove their worth by defeating the skeleton robot Tin Fist, leader of the anti-slavers and a fearsome enemy of the United Cities and Traders Guild. Moving on to the skeletons, there is Agnew, a soldier bot with advanced sight and healing abilities, locked in the Tower of Abuse by the reprogrammed and enslaved skeleton robots of the Thrallmasters faction. With no weapons, armor, or skills, save for exceptionally high strength, Agnew is unable to speak normally and so communicates through screams. Eager to join anyone who frees him from captivity, he has a serious fear of the Venge territory and may initially refuse to cross it. Agnew may have once been a police officer of the Second Empire, as they appear to be the same robot model and wear the same loincloth. A former adventurer who retired to a tower in the Floodlands, Burn has a long cleaver, light armor, and medium warrior stats. Choosing this location because it's protected by spider bots, he can be convinced to join a crew for one last adventure. A depressed robot found in the Black Desert City, Sad Neil has no weapons, armor, and low stats, but can be convinced to join any individual or group because he easily gives in to peer pressure. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Kristen Greeneyes of the Company of the Cat, Sir Loin, Werebear of the Great North, Daedry Dragonswit, and Kyle Blitzsword. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/CivilizationEx, where you can gain early access to videos and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.